On this video, we're going to talk about Stamina Templar team play build, so make sure you stay tuned for the rest of the video. Hey guys, it's Tydas. I make ESO theory content and put them to practice, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell for the latest video. Okay, let's get started then. So, character-wise, on this one I'm a red guard. Now you can go with a dark elf or nord. It doesn't really matter too much, but red guard I do find is a bit useful, especially for decide to do solo content or group play, just for the sustain. On the stone, the thief. Now we're going by this just because of the setup that we're going by, but you can go for the warrior style instead if you want. Food, R10 takeaway broth. You could use sugar skull if you want to. Gear wise, nice and simple. Briarheart front bar, maul, Nernhorn just for the extra damage and heal. Do have poison. You don't have to use the poison on this one if you don't want to, but it's useful. You could use different types of poison as well. Front bar, so when you deal critical damage, you increase your weapon damage by 435 for 10 seconds, and you also heal yourself every time you crit. That's why we got the thief. So it's got a 5-second cooldown. Back bar, master, sword and shield. You don't have to have this. You can get the standard one if you want to. I did have defending because you'll be defending a lot, especially if you're going solo. For group build, it's still useful because you don't want to beat this squishy target that everyone will pile onto. So if you know what it does, so when you puncture someone you heal for 6k, and you also get resistance over 5 seconds. Monster helm, you'll get Balrog. Now I've got sturdy just because of the defensive side of it, so it gives you weapon damage, and you also get the extra weapon damage and penetration when you use your ulti. Now I'll put on a sturdy and impen on all of them, and we are using 5-1-1 in terms of setup for the gear. So 5 medium, 1 heavy, 1 light. Next set is Yandir's Might. Now you don't actually have to use the perfected one, but it is advisable just because of the 5th piece. So on the perfected version you will get an additional physical penetration, so it will line up similar to a standard 5 piece like Briarheart. When you get 3 stats plus then the 5th piece. It's the same with Yandir. So you get 3 stats, 2 piece, 4 piece and 5 piece plus then the 5th piece. And what it does is it gives you 40 weapon damage, stacks up to 10 times, so that you'll get 400 weapon damage, and then that will stay there even if you die, so that's really good. But then the 5th piece is actually really useful, especially if you want to go for the burst. So after you do a fully heavy attack, you get 610 weapon damage for 10 seconds, so you release all of that, and then after 15 seconds you go back to 0 in terms of bonus, and then you go back and then stack it up again. But so this is a combination of Briarheart / Clever Alchemist, but it's more of a Clever Alchemist on demand without having to use a potion for bursting. Instead you could use a potion for defense or outplaying depending on the situation, and it's only 5 seconds less than Clever Alchemist, so I do advise getting a perfected version. On the jewelry I got infused and robust, just so you can get the initial burst. Skill wise, front bar, javelin, keep out, and also your combo starter. Power of the light, this is like your half execute, so you want to cast this on someone to 1 reduces their resistance, and 2 you do extra damage when it explodes. Your main spammable jabs, and then you got executioner. This is more of a flex spot, so if you don't want an executioner you can go for something else. With the way how Cyrodiil works at the moment, getting an execute and getting a kill confirm I think is a bit better than not having it at all, especially when people are tanky. If people are tanky, they will end up health recovery will kick in, and then they'll push him right up. So this is a really good spammable out there, especially when Power of the Light is on. Rally, this is for the heal, and also the major brutality. Ulti, Dawnbreaker, this is your finisher slash combo. Backbar, Repentance, this is a flex spot. I could do like this just because of the passive that you get while you're slotted. You get a recovery for health, magicka and stamina for 20%, and it stacks up with your potions, especially when using triglyph or tripods. Extended ritual is your perch and your heal. Standard Templar build. This is for your masters. Backbar, sword and shield, so you reduces the resistance. It also gives you minor protection, and also then heals you while you have the master's bar, the master's sword and shield. Restoring focus, this is your resistance, and you also get stamina back while you're fighting on it, so try and always fight around the rune. Last move is resolving vigor. This is your heal for 4 seconds, and then you got your ulti spell ball. You can use temporal guard if you want for that, and then you can change this ransack to a different morph because of Power of the Light as it is, to both kind of provide the two debuff that the other morph does, so that's useful for that side. And this is also good against champion points. Nice and basic, pretty well rounded. The healing. So how the Yandis one works is, as you can see on my buff bar, it's got a counter there. Every time it crits. So jab will help that one. And as you can see, then the Yandis Might and also Brightheart procs. So now that's stayed on there. Even if I die, it will stay on there. Giant's Embrace, Endurance. Got 4k weapon damage. Then if you crit, so you can see 5.374, and then if you got the Emp buff and also the Keep buff, then that'll go almost at 6k weapon damage. And then also with Balrog as well, you were looking about 6.1k, 6.2k with the ulti. So you want to make sure. So the combo usually is that you Power of the Light, jabs, Dawnbreaker, jabs, and finish off with the execute. And then if you want to finish someone off, you literally just heavy attack. As you can see, that explosion. So really useful for that side of it. Then after, then you can just keep jabbing away. So this build is mainly for team play build. You can use this for solo, or you find yourself just a bit squishy with this setup, because this is mainly for outbursts really than anything else, especially when you combine it with the heavy attack. You get that 610 weapon damage. So hope you guys liked the video, and subscribe to the channel for the latest content. Cheers.